Medusa. She used to be a beautiful woman, and Poseidon fell in love with her, and they decided to mate.
What do you say we go into Athena's temple and make whoopee, right? And so she's like, all right, well, sure, let's get out of the rain. Well, boom, Athena hears through the grapevine, right, up on Mount Olympus, hey, there's somebody messing around in your temple.
And Athena was extremely offended by this action, and so she decided to take her anger out on not Poseidon, because he's very powerful and there was nothing she could do to him, but rather Medusa, whom she turns into a horrible creature with snakes for hair and a face that can turn anyone into stone.
The Medusa boss in this game is awesome. She's a blast to play. She looks great. But for me, the big fat green Medusa, that's not Medusa. Medusa is sleek and she's kind of weird because she's sort of sexy and you feel kind of creepy about it, but she's kind of sexy, you know? And so Corey's the director of this game and Corey brings his own fantasies to this game, and that's okay, whatever.
Pegasus was born from the head of Medusa.
It's not just blood that springs out of her neck, but Pegasus, the winged horse. This is one of those moments in Greek mythology that you just can't explain anyway. It's just weird, right? It's just flat out weirdness.
Pegasus had unique powers. Every time Pegasus would strike a place with its hoof, a natural spring would rise up there. That's what Pegasus' name means, basically. It's like striking. So the hoof strike of Pegasus was a very magical thing. The Harpies were a breed of half human female and half bird, and their name comes from the Greek word to snatch or to seize. So they seem to be sort of like demons that would come around stealing things or assaulting you.
Sort of these black, fluttering, bird-like creatures that are very ominous, very threatening, and you definitely don't want them on your trail because they're completely unshakable. You can't lose them. And they are connected to the fates, kind of personification of that dark cloud or the evil following you.
Cerberus is the three-headed dog of the underworld.
His job is he'll let you pass into the underworld, but he won't let you back out.
It's natural that the underworld would also have a guard dog, but you want it to be a little bit more fantastic, so he has three heads. However, he does not seem to be a particularly successful guard dog, because most of the people that go down to the underworld can generally find their way around him.
I would probably say my favorite creature would be the Cyclops.
The Cyclops, the one-eyed creatures, and they were huge and strong like mountains.
But I think the thing I like the most about the Cyclops is the eye rip move that Kratos does when he climbs up the body and sticks his hand in and pops the eye out. It's gotta be my favorite.
Satyrs, love satyrs, the original party animals. Well, they were the original party half animals, right? They were these fuzzy fawn-like creatures from the waist down, and the satyrs liked to party, and they were associated with Dionysus, my favorite god, the god of wine, women, and song.
Goats were always considered very lusty creatures, and so satyrs and Pan that they're always hanging out with are always associated with sort of wild, unpredictable behavior. The Kraken enters our modern mythology through Clash of the Titans, the movie where the Kraken appears. But it's certainly not unprecedented in classical mythology because there were always sea creatures. The sea is always characterized as being a place of death.
I always thought of the Kraken as almost like the creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, it's very humanoid. I think that's what it was in Clash of the Titans, so that's kind of law.
we just explored all kinds of avenues in order to sort of figure out what our vision of the Greek myths were. And so I think we've landed at a place that feels heroic and exciting, but also a little disturbing and a little adult and a little sexy, and I think that's pretty cool.
You are not meant to die here.